Welcome back to another warm-up show with the hockey coach, Goro Coach Franchise, directly for the Before Country and Thailand on the great Wednesday night, March 22nd, 2023. And we have the co-host, Mr. ENORTAP, directly from Toronto, back in the house. Welcome back, Mr. ENORTAP.
Hello, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. Good to be back, Coach.
Always a pleasure to having you aboard. Before we start, Mr. ENORTAP, we want to mention we got some news about Jose Duarte is back, not back, but he should be out of the hospital Friday afternoon. And look like everything looking good for him. So for what we heard from Danny, so about Jose Duarte. So we just want to mention this to everybody. Good news about our friend Jose Duarte. So I just want to sharing that one with him, Mr. ENORTAP.
Absolutely. A long road for him ahead, but hopefully it's a start.
Super chat.
Yeah, that's right. Chop, chop, chop. Rivers. Super chat, Mr. Real Deal. Did it again, Mr. ENORTAP.
Real Deal
our
Prime.
friend, thanks so much about Devon Levi. I think they need many Levi Buffalo Sabres right now with a crazy game of 7-2, Mr. ENORTAP. Unbelievable what happening last night in hockey. But first of all, he's right now straight on the highway direction home. His wife waiting for him back in the house after missing the first 2 days of the week. Mr. ENORTAP, I'm talking about the white Nissan Dixon Automotive Group is in the house tonight.
Welcome, Dixon. Get that muffler checked, Dixon.
He's doing well. He's doing well. But without the muffler, without to mention to you, Mr. Stu Pidaso.
Welcome, Stu.
Thanks so much, Mr. Real Deal, for your super chat. So welcome back, Mr. Real Deal Prim in the house.
Welcome.
Gary Cournoyer sit inside his bulldozer traveling inside the street in Montreal. So now, so far, Mr. ENORTAP, but he's still walking, but he just wants to stop by, say hi, and click on the like. So thanks so much, Gary, to stop by. We really appreciate your commitment to the Hockey Nation show. Mr. Jarmo Vartinen, back in the house. Welcome back directly from Finland.
Hello, Jarmo.
Don't worry about that, Jarmo. You're going to be with me, so sit tight. Jose Laham, directly from Texas, he's back with us. The New Jersey Devil, another team where they lost last night. Unbelievable.
How's it going, Joseph?
Luciano, Graziano, moderator of the Hockey Nation show, back in the house. What a disaster pick last night. Unbelievable.
Hey, lucky. How's it going?
William McClary knocked the door. Welcome back in the house, William McClary.
Welcome, William. Thank you, William. Thank you.
The Captain Danny T, moderator of the Hockey Nation show, back in the house. Welcome back.
How's it going, Danny?
The another captain of the Hockey Nation show, Mr. Captain Cook, is in the house.
Welcome, Ryan.
And our friend Randy N. Welcome back, Randy N.
How's it going, Randy?
Welcome back, André Robert Drouin. Speed recovery, Mr. André. Thanks to be with Hockey Nation show tonight.
Welcome, André.
From Ottawa, Mr. Claude Richard. Il est de retour avec nous ce soir. Welcome back.
Le bleu, blanc et rouge. Welcome, Claude.
And we have Mr. Glenn Way is in the house. Mr. ENORTAP, welcome back.
How's it going, Glenn?
And we want to thank all everybody to not forget. I hope Coach has a platform to dangerous Danny County Jail. Don't worry about that, EMO. We're going to be fine. We are 6 people. I think we're going to stay in the jail for 24 hours anyhow. Anyway, that's what we got yesterday.
Oh boy.
About 13 games in the shell, 2 games only tonight. We want to go through it a little bit quickly tonight. And RG Calabro, Mr. Natap, is de retour avec nous. He's back with us. Is in the house.
How's it going, RJ?
And that's what we got so far at the beginning of the show. 13 game we can talk about for a long time tonight, but here we go, Mr. Natap. Nothing else to say this morning about this bad night, but here we go.
Wait a minute,
So,
wait a minute, Coach.
Mr. Natap, what caught your attention last night in NHL? They have 13 game. Carolina come back winning, losing 1-0. They come back 3-2. Columbus 7-6, and thank you, Mr. Washington. Philadelphia destroyed the Panthers tried to be in the playoff. Well, you're going to be in the playoff when you're losing by the score like 6-3. Nashville destroyed 7-2. Buffalo, you need about 6 new goaltender. Boston Bruins consistent performing 2-1. Montreal shocked the world with a W at 3-2 against Tampa Bay Lightning. The New York Islanders beat yesterday and they won by the score 7-2. Toronto, are you ready? Because you're going to lose the first round. Winnipeg still hanging there 2-1 against Arizona. Detroit beat the Boston the Blues. Two teams going nowhere right now. The Seattle Kraken shocked the Star. You want to stay in the first place. It's another way to do this. By the score 5-4. Calgary, the team, I don't understand what's going on over there. The Vegas consistent performing, but still not sure to finish first with a record of 9-2-0 in the last 11 games. They're still not sure to stay in the first place. Many other teams will be completely sure, but the Kings have an amazing, great, 17-4-4 in the last 25 games for the Kings. So that's the reason why the Vegas, whatever they do, there's never going to be enough. 5 games in overtime yesterday, and I lost all 5 of them. So I don't have to tell you more about what happened yesterday.
Yeah, you know what, Coach? I need some answers here. Not that my record was good at all. I think I was like whatever it was,
6,
six and
7.
seven or something. But I leave you one day. One day I leave you. And what's with all these records, all below 500? Everybody, except for Run, who had a great night. But what happened?
Well, but last night was just about the no sense hockey the NHL are. That's pretty much it. The team, once someone told me like the team like Toronto, um, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
If you tell me they are the good team right now, they Tampa Bay last night terrible to watching a team like how they can go the playoff like that. It's impossible. Toronto, how can you perform it with no goaltender? Impossible. 10 games before the rest of the season, and then you just play like that, a game on the road. And when you have tried to build the momentum, Dallas Star, what the heck's going on with there? Gave 5 goals against Charlotte at home. That's just not make hockey sense. So a lot of teams right now, I would be honest with you, if you're thinking are going to win the playoff, they are not ready to make the playoff right now. More other team are right now. The Rangers lose at home. Madison Square Garden cannot keep the lead. That's just a lot of red flag happening last night in NHL.
Yeah, I'm just kidding around, but in all seriousness, it seemed to be the night for the most of the underdogs. We saw. I mean, let's start with the Toronto game. To me, it wasn't a surprise, and I'll tell you why. The Leafs have quite a bit of trouble when they have to go up against teams that are bigger, stronger than they are. They play a more physical type of game. Personally, I think they would have a very good chance in the first round if they had to play a team like Carolina. I know that sounds crazy, but they're a team that skates with them, and they can probably outskate Carolina if they had to. They don't have their depth, that's for sure, but they would have a chance against a team like Carolina. But a team that is bigger than them and plays a heavier game and puts a lot of pressure on the Leafs defense, we saw what happens yesterday. And the Islanders, Boston, to a lesser degree, Tampa is that kind of a team, and it makes it very difficult on them. And they're going to have to find a way to respond to that. without getting into the penalty box, because that's another area of concern in terms of being able to, avoid the sin box for themselves, and try to get as many power plays themselves and get going. Because right now, I don't know. I don't trust that with the team that they have. I did not like the play of Samsonov whatsoever. Uh, Let about 3 easy goals in, I thought. The defense, like we talked about that, a couple of mistakes, you know, poorly advised passes that were made that led to uneven uh, opportunities for the Islanders. They scored shorthanded. They scored on the power play. Like every aspect of that game, the Islanders came up on top, and I think they pretty much, unless they pull off something really bad, I think the Islanders have kind of solidified one of the wild card positions going into the last couple of weeks here. Um, the other game that kind of stood out for me, I mean, Nashville really got to give credit to the Luca Evangelista, who came up with 4 points yesterday, 7-3 victory over Buffalo. I I'm surprised, not so much that they won the game, but it's how they won it. To me, it looks like Buffalo right now has kind of thrown the white flag in, and they have no interest in at least making the games interesting. It's if like we can outscore you, we'll do that. If yeah,
But uh, but considering the point, I will bring back Buffalo right now. But I just want to share with you, they have a two difference between a team try to build a culture. The Montreal Canadiens, that's what they are doing.
yes,
Now
very
Buffalo
good
right now,
point.
this not that's what you always ask her. Where yeah, but it's not big deal. Martin Saint Louis said Jonathan Drouin. It's not big deal. Martin Saint Louis does this. It's not big deal to winning. But you can see the difference between Buffalo and the Montreal Canadiens. And I said Buffalo is worse than Montreal. I just said it starts with the foundation. And you cannot finish him right
That's
now
right.
with 2-6-2 Buffalo. It's not it's the way they play. It's inconsistency with a kind of they are
Exactly.
more talented than
Exactly.
Montreal Canadiens overall. But again, they cannot figure out what it takes to make the playoff, what it takes to see with consistency. And that's you see right now Buffalo Sabres really shaky send the trade deadline.
Yeah, with like you said, with better players, and look at Montreal with the number of injuries that they have, and yet they compete on a nightly basis. Yesterday, we saw a nice victory by Montreal, 3-2 over Tampa Bay. You know, is there reason to be concerned with Tampa Bay? I don't know. To me, Hedman does look like he's injured. He's not playing at the top of his game. Vasilevsky's been playing well. Kucherov has been playing well. But, they've got to get it together. It's not like it was a couple years ago where they could throw all four lines at you and you don't skip a beat. You can tell now that once they throw in that third line and the fourth line, they're playing a lot of catch up hockey. Like they're not dictating the play; they're being dictated to, and that's at some point might not be the first round, but at some point it could get them into a lot of trouble. And you can't ask Vasilevsky to bail you out all the time, because it's going to be a hard task for him to do.
Their D is the
Um,
biggest problem in Center Tap. Yeah, Radish
yeah,
and Per Bix, you can see they can. It's not the same thing they have before that. So you have only Sergachev, Edmund, and Cernak handled there with Young Cole yesterday, but it's not good enough. Unfortunately, it's not
not
good
good
enough.
enough.
Yesterday,
No.
like I didn't. This is rare, but Stenko was not did nothing yesterday against the Montreal Canadiens, and so I don't know. It's a team or not like it was before for sure. And but this is a problem. Look about I mentioned this since what February 10, I believe. Vasilevsky average. The team is average, play barely over 500. And that's not the way to play for the playoff. It's not the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they have only 10 games to be ready for that. Again, they're going to play against Toronto. This not better anyway, but not looking good for Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they can just turn on and off a switch and they're in playoff mode. They do have the experience. Let's not forget about that. They are, a force, but they don't appear to me to be as ready as they have been in the past years. Other game, Philadelphia, a nice win, 6-3 over Florida. It hurt Florida. I mean, this was a perfect opportunity for them to stay, even though they're still in a playoff spot, but to stay a little bit more ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Hart yesterday had a very good game for Philadelphia. Faced 44 shots, made 41 saves. Sanheim, couple points. Farabee, a couple points. They all contributed. Morgan Frost has been playing very well as well. Got a couple points. And Florida, they have the offense, but defensively they let up in a lot of points in the game. And I hate to say it, even if they do make the playoffs, I don't think they stay around very long because of that glaring deficiency that they have on defense. And let's face it, if it wasn't for Bobrovsky right now, they wouldn't be anywhere near this position. And yesterday they had to throw in Leon just to give Bobrovsky some rest. But I don't know, these last, what do they have left? 11, 12 games maybe? You can expect 10 of them at least to be Bobrovsky. So we'll see. And that's a tough one. The Columbus and Washington game, you talked about that. Washington had leads of 3-0, 4-2, 5-3. And then they even scored relatively late in the game to take a 6-5 lead. And it wasn't enough. You got to give credit to Columbus. They came along and they had that fight in them. They scored. They had answers to every lead that Washington threw at them. And then, of course, they won in, was it a shootout, I believe, with the
7-6. No, I think it was in the overtime.
in overtime. Yeah. Okay. Winnipeg, I mean, it looked a lot more difficult than it had to be. And I think, again, you talk about a team that had to rely on their goaltender. And, you might say Arizona, they should have blown them away, especially on the road. Arizona has not been very impressive. I think they only have about 7 wins on the road. Most of their wins come at home at the Mullet. But that second period, I thought Hellebuck made 18 saves. One was just a highlight reel type of save with the paddle stick. Just an amazing outing by him. But again, here's another team that has some deficiencies, especially on the defensive end. And I'm not keen. I love that they have some very good talent, but I'm not keen on their team concept. I think a lot of the players on that team play for the name on the back and not the name on the front. And I think it's going to be reflected this summer when we start seeing some moves there, because something has to happen. They can't keep coming back 3 years in a row with the same kind of team. So we got to keep our eyes open for that. And Calgary, of course, did what they had to. They took care of Anaheim by a score of 5-1. They took control of the game early. And, Vladar didn't face a lot of shots, but the shots that he did make were good. And you can tell that the team plays with a lot more confidence when Vladar is in net than Markstrom, which is the complete opposite of what was happening last year. So Calgary's still in the race. It's going to be hard for them to get in there. I know Nashville looks like they're in the race, but realistically, if you look at their schedule moving forward, it's going to be a tough haul for Nashville to get back into this. It's there for Winnipeg, but they have to be willing to play better. They can't just keep relying on Hellebuck to bail them out.
Yeah, I think the only thing for Winnipeg is more about the fact like they have everything under control. So it's all depends on them. They don't care about other result. They don't worry about
No,
other result. They just have to go what they need. They have in front of them, and that's it. So they don't have to need help to finish the wild
from
card.
anybody
The Winnipeg
else.
Jets about that. So
Yeah.
13 game yesterday, Mr. Natap. We talk about all of them. Well, a lot of people in the chat, guys, stay tight with us. So we're going to give you all the results. The start of the night, Mr. Natap. Evangelist,
Yeah.
uh, 2 goals, 4 points. G-Shine, 3 points. Gustafson, an amazing, great performance again for the Wall. The Wall guys continue to going in. I apologize for that. I did not see that way. Gustafson, 47 save percentage of 979% of tap. So congratulations for those 3 stars. We have a few people in the house, Mr. Tap. First of all, we want to welcome Mr. Ed Fleming is in the house tonight.
Welcome.
King of Gamer is in the house. Welcome back with us tonight.
Welcome, King.
And we have Mr. Leonardo Ramirez. Welcome back.
Welcome, Leonardo.
Thanks so much for all the likes we got tonight on the special night of the warm-up show. First of all, Luciano asked, I remember the old days, the last 15 games of the season were like playoff game, but these days that's not something to be the case. Any insight of this one over there, Mr. Natap?
I think there's more parity for starters. If you look at the teams also that are there this year, like with the exception of maybe Boston right now, you can look at every team that is going into the playoffs, and you can pinpoint a highlighted deficiency that they have in their game that a good coach will exploit in the playoffs, and other coaches are doing right now. Like if um, whether it's defense or whether it's specialty teams, if it's goaltending, they're well scouted games. There's more parity this year. Um, I think that's a big part of it. But you will see, though, Lucky, in the last 10 games, that the teams that are ready to take on the playoffs, the majority of them will start to play some really good hockey, and the ones that are at the bottom won't want to compete.
On the flip side, I would say to Luciano, it depends which team do you follow in NHL. If you follow Toronto, since November you can know watch hockey or your hockey, your TV April 16. You already know they're going to play Tampa Bay. So you're losing interest about Toronto. You just want to be
Interest,
sure that
yeah.
season's over, right? If you talk about Montreal Canadiens, they already know they are out of the picture since October 12th. They dropped the puck at the beginning. So the interest of the last 10, 15 games are not there. But you have other market where Pittsburgh, Islanders, Florida Panthers right now, they battle right now to survive to make the wild card. So they are all over those games for them. And then they have the Devils. They are looking to finish first over the Carolina. That's really a market right now. They are really interested in what's going on over there. And you go on the wild card, the Winnipeg Jet right now battle with Nashville and Calgary. Both market, Calgary and Nashville, are really looking now for the fans to see if they can make the wild card. The Pacific, the Edmonton, we talk about the Los Angeles Kings and the Vegas, they try to see if they can finish first. They have a really, right now, the last 10, 15 game, the fans are all about that. And the Central, the Colorado pushing at the last minute, the Dallas Star fans, we want to see they're going to finish first. So in Minnesota, right, what happened the last 10 game, 15 game, 20 game, it's unbelievable. So yes, you're right, Luciano, but I think it's fact like who we follow here in the channel, like Montreal, Toronto, are not have the same kind of impact compared to other market. I just want to sharing another perspective of what Luciano question, Mr. Natap.
Yeah, that's a good point.
King of the Gamer is in the house. Did you know Nashville still have 2 games to play against the Kraken and 1 game against the Winnipeg? If they can win those games, it's very possible. Okay, so
It's
that's a
hard
great point you mentioned about this, King. All right, but Here's the
they
part,
have the hardest
Mr.
schedule.
King. Right? Is
They have a hard schedule, the
they have still
hardest.
have 10 more game after that. And that's what you have to focusing after the 10th game. So whatever they can close to winning the last, they have 13 game to go, Mr. Tap, right now. They have to finish
Yeah,
at most 9-4 at least.
right. Yeah,
They cannot go under because they have to catch up the Winnipeg, and then after that they have to pass the Winnipeg. Difficult. Now on the flip side, if Winnipeg finish with the last 11 game 3-8, that's another story. That mathematically they are there, King, but it's going to be really really hard to them. Can carry the Tap
yeah,
um,
and
too late.
yeah, yeah, you're right. And right now the key thing is, again, you look at their strength of schedule, the remaining number of games, 13 games that they have. Nashville has the most difficult. Winnipeg has the 27th, or you could put it a different way, the sixth easiest schedule going the rest of the way. Nashville still has to play Boston, Carolina, the Rangers, Toronto, Vegas, Dallas, and then they got Pittsburgh, who's still hungry. Calgary is still hungry for a playoff spot. So besides those games that you mentioned, which are winnable, they're going to have some difficult games there. And remember, they gave away some players at the trade deadline time. So it's going to take a colossal flop from Winnipeg uh, for Nashville to get in my eyes.
Do you think the Colorado is still the best team in the West, sir?
Uh, I like Vegas too. I like the way they're constituted. I think that they could surprise some teams. Well, I wouldn't say even surprise anymore because they've been playing a very good brand of hockey over the last couple of months, I'd say, and that's with their injuries. And they went out there and got some insurance in net, so that's going to be interesting to see. But they're going to have a tough road, just like everybody else is. I mean, Colorado probably is the favorite, but I think Vegas is up there as well. And I wouldn't sleep on Dallas. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Dallas because they're getting production from the second and third line as well on that team. And we already know that they're very strong defensively and in net.
Yeah, I was just said that you talk about it, the momentum of the prepare for the playoff. That's what Colorado is right now. They just prepare for the playoff. They find a groove. They find a way right now to go be ready and just leave message right now, leave statement, and they're praying for every game right now. Be ready when the playoffs start because we are ready to go there. And we have to give credit for Jared Bednar for what he prepared his team. John Grega is in the house, Mr. Tap, a long time ago. But John, welcome back.
Welcome, John.
Tampa have been the same since the benching. What I'm wrong. I don't know if really there. It's happened before that a little bit,
Well,
but again, um, I don't see that way.
I,
I think they have other
yeah,
things
I don't
behind that.
either.
I think it's more like the concept of the team. What I'm talking about the concept is the way they play right now. On the road, they are terrible. At home, they still performing very well. But on the road, they are not there. And I don't know. You can see it's front team compared the last 3 years on my eyes.
Yeah, the only thing, to their credit, coach, has been when they've been questioned and they've been faced with some, do or die kind of games. They have performed and met that challenge so far. But here's the thing: I don't think they can do it consistently over a 7 game series. It's one thing to say go out there and beat the Rangers or beat the Carolina or Colorado for 1 or 2 games. But if they fall behind like 2-0 in a series, it's gonna be very very difficult for them to make up that deficit.
Yeah, absolutely about this, Mr. Natap. We have Ed Fleming, like I mentioned, is in the house. Glenn asked a good question. Dwayne, is it a natural center or winger because he's played good hockey now at center?
Uh, yeah. I don't know. With Drouin, it's uh, I don't know, Coach. I'm not convinced that center with Drouin. I know he's been having
Here's the fun
some
for me
success.
about Drouin on the center. So when you play center, is you're more involved, you're more into game, right? Martin St. change and grow his maturity to learn the stand to play the other side of the game, one defensive
Yeah.
zone and back checking more, everything like that. One a winger, you have to battle more. You have to face a one versus one of the wall, pick up the puck, retrieval puck. It's a fun game. I think for me, where is Jonathan Drouin after we watched him for many years? He fit better as a center versus a winger. That's only the two elements I would say to you, Mr. Natab. That's what I feel right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's the best way I can
And
answer that
defensively, yeah.
for that. Uh,
You have to be a strong player defensively as well if you want to play center.
Yeah, he's doing well. He is. You can see he really bad checking more, and he does a better job. Listen, he had the most point like any other forward in Montreal since January 10, I believe. So he's looking good about that. Do you think Riley Kidney would get any time at the NHL next level with all the upcoming prospect? I don't think so, King. Um, he have a really bad training camp last year, rookie camp, development camp, and maybe one of them you can mention this. But again, the potential is there. Sometimes it's not that. What I learned in hockey is I always said when you pick a kid from 12 years old to 23 years old, but more like the one at 16, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, the one that play the AAA program or play the higher level junior, everything like that. You have to go by tranche of 3 months. Don't compare him
Hmm.
because every 3 months the players change physically, mentally, maturity, responsibility, leadership, everything like that. You see a development players. He really knocked Riley Kidney knocked right there in the Saint Christmas. He got straight to the casino, and he's on the streak of 24 games straight with 1 point. He had 47 points the last 25 game. He is on the roll. But again, can he carry run this when he moved the next level? He did not do it last year. He was borderline with Team Canada. Did not make the team at Christmas. That's see right now. How are you going to use the pressure to performing
Yeah.
versus the people beside him, his teammate, where he going to get there? Those that fly a king, that's what we're going to see the next couple of months with the Montreal Canadiens. I think he's not ready to play NHL, but I think when you go to the next level, that's what I feel. Good for him. Second season over 100 point in QM. You have to do it. The talent is there. But again, the physicality is there, and the way he can go and play with the same pace of the game. That's what all the answer we're going to figure out the next couple of months. King, a great point, real about the Buffalo Sabres. I would still believe the Buffalo Sabres need a goaltender, and they need at least one and maybe two physical defensive men. Until they don't get that kind of physicality on the defenseman, Dallin and Power is going to be rushed and get hit many times. They need to find a defenseman number 4, a defenseman number 5, and that's what Jacob Chikwan could bring that kind. They don't have him. So they can figure out somewhere, somehow, they can that kind of physicality they need. If not, they're going to struggle
Hmm.
until that. And that's what they look about NHL. Um, a guy can, when I'm talking physical team setup, not a guy fight, but one can
No, no,
respond,
no.
right? And you're
Clear
gonna
the
go to
front of
laugh
the
at me, but
net.
I'm talking about a guy the style like a Joel Edmondson example. Like he he,
Right.
he, he demand respect. If something happen, he can go in the corner. He can push right, left and right, right. That kind of the player could join them. I think that's what they need. The Buffalo Sabres real about that one over there. Leonardo talk about the Pacific Division. You're absolutely about this. Going to pick it up. Everything about that. The last time was Ken Crosby, most of the playoff, it was in 2008. Mr. Nortap, a great point that I love the fact about this one there. We answered to you, Leonardo, in the chat about Atlanta and Houston. Lenny plays center right now for the Columbus Blue Jacket. I think the cup is for grab this year. I've been in Arizona like 2 years ago. I think it's not the best atmosphere, so quit Leonardo. Yeah, I would say to you, just wait right now. I think they're on transformation, Arizona, and will be interesting to see them the next 3 years about that. Actually, Nashville is in control. If they can convert the 3 game in hand, they are 1 point behind. Yes, I understand King, but after that, you have to consist winning. That's difficult in NHL. To the parity in NHL is very difficult and unfortunately, I don't see this happen for them. Chicago Bear, welcome back in the house. Thanks to be with our Canadian show. Russ Smith, Mr. Russell, back in the house. Thank you to be with us. Current predict Edmonton, Boston in the final. Minnesota was Vegas beat Nashville on the road last time 5-1, dominate the win. Vegas, it can be the best team and lose the worst team. I think the St. is the best West, but very close. We cannot all lead, but we still constantly want the playoff start.
LA's playing some good hockey.
Yep. Try to get the other question. Boston is the biggest favorite, also betting odds. Yes. Montreal has a young team, suspicious talent overall, and they play every game like he was for the cup. So there are no reason other team trying for a cup spot cannot play like Montreal per intensity. Yeah, I agree with you, Andre. I think that's why they have to shift right now. And I think, give an example, Mr. Look, the end of the season of Florida Panthers last year.
Yeah.
That's happening with them. Ed Fleming, you're welcome, my friend. Always a pleasure. What went wrong with the Blue season to miss the playoff by a large margin? King or Gamer. For the Kings, their injuries, and then I would say to you, the bad performance of the defensemen like Perico, Justin Falk, and they're not doing well. Bennington was not set between the pipe, and the two departure. David Perron, 30 goal, consistency, power play unit, and then the departure of Ville Husso, your backup number 2. And that's it. That's all. The rest, they are the same thing. I think for me, they lose the intensity, by the physicality, everything like that. They never find a way, and they never been in the race since the beginning of the season. Thanks so much, Liardo.
They have a nutcase in net.
Yep. Liardo predict Vegas against the Rangers. Clinton Keller has come out of nowhere since January. His position is a player just below McDavid since January. He's underrated in NHL, I think, Keller. He's been this consistency, not like McDavid, but play well in hockey since he played. Last year, his broken leg didn't help to finish one of the best seasons of his career. But again, I think he's really underrated. And Montreal tried to get him for DUARTE, but of course, it's happening about that one. I guess I believe is 5 in the save percentage when McLaren about the Gustafsson. Claude Richard, people talk. Ekholm can be the best add up on the trade deadline for Yamo. Talk about him. Yes, they need really them for sure. Ekholm was an excellent part of the Oilers. Who was the oldest ad player to score their first goal?
The oldest. That's a good question.
They talk about Alex Belzile, but they have another one. I cannot remember his name. If I can be wrong here, but Alex Belzile is one of them. But yeah, other players. I think it was long time ago. But someone knows this. That'd be great to sharing this with us. So anyway, Chicago just got older. Show up fast, Captain. Calgary is the same situation as Vegas was the last year, and we missed the playoff. A great point about this, Leonardo, about that, and they come back with Vegas. Bennington has still more year to deal, if I recall. You're absolutely right. Disaster for St. Luciano. Will Anaheim have a better team next season? I feel like they have been rebuilding for a while. They will. Anaheim, and they're going to get another great players right now. So just give them, Anaheim is going to grow away a little bit with faster, everything like that. So we just reach everybody in the chat instead of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of the deepest in terms of prospects that they already have, and they're going to pick up at least one more this year, given their standings. So
Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Nata. We have to welcome Mr. Ron Kings. Congratulations for your in 8 and 5, I believe. On your, I'm going to send you on the bus by yourself, unfortunately for you. Here we go, Mr. Natap. I really apologize for everybody because I did not. We talk about and saw everything like that. We have only 2 games in NHL tonight, so it's not a big deal. But I want to mention, Mr. Natap, Colorado signed an extension contract for the head coach, Jared Betnow, for a 3 years contract. And Ovechkin become the first players to reach a 13th season with 40 goals past Wayne Gretzky, Mr. Natap. So I just want to mention to you this is a great record for Ovechkin, continuous performance whatsoever. The color Washington last night, a bad play. We're not going to go deep about Montreal Canadiens, the review game, because we're going to be back at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm going to go deep about everything what happened. But I just want to give you an idea. Montembeault is another great performance for him. The show tonight at 9 o'clock, guys, about Montembeault. Is it a number one goalie in NHL, or is it the number one goalie now for the Montreal Canadiens? Kirby Dack back in the house, scored goal. Mike Madison, is it really the first defenseman what Montreal looking for the last couple of years in NHL? Gallagher, oof, ouch. We're going to talk about him. Coley out for the rest of the season. Anderson not going to be on the trip in Boston, not looking good. Finally, Drouin bounce back very well. And I'm going to talk about Jonathan Drouin tonight. But on the other flip side, where I think the people don't get it yet, and I will give you a little bit more information. Island and Harris even are back, Mr. Tap, on the ice with the full cover, the full regular jersey. So expect one of the two of them maybe in the lineup tomorrow night. And then the Montreal Canadiens announced Emil Henneman is back in North America. He played his first game with the Laval Rocket wearing number 19, Mr. Tap. So Emil Henneman is around the Montreal Canadiens. Question of time before Sean Farrell sign a contract with Montreal. He's going to play this weekend. He loses Friday. He can sign with Montreal. Saturday, he can play next week. That will give help for the Laval Rocket. They can drop down a couple of players like Pinard, RHP, and Belzile, and the Laval Rocket. So that's not maybe the best thing about this, but that's happening for that one over there. And talking about the news, Mr. Tap, Logan Thompson back between the pipe for the Vegas Golden Knights. So this is a good news for the Vegas to get him because Mr. Leonardo is from Vegas. So I just want to share with you about this. Jonathan Quick looking good between the pipe for them. Coach Ekblad has been number one pick, but he's some to have falling off the radar. And Monto as funny is ice time opinion. Evan Ekblad is very interesting about him. I've been in Florida and been watching him for years in Florida. I practice with him on the ice because his personal training is Antonio. Anthony is an Italian name anyway. And I've been watching him since like he's been with Florida Panthers. When he came in NHL, his skating was not very good, Mr. Tap. It was really bad. And he improved. He worked so hard, and he become great in the last couple of years. At least I always said to you before this season, he have a good, really good 2 years back to back at least. Obviously, injuries stop him. Broken leg one time, and then another happening to him. Slow him a little bit for Evan Ekblad. Monto passed him this year, but if you look about Ekblad, he did not find a way to put him, never find his groove to find a way on power play this year. Like the team struggled until the last couple of months. So I think Ekblad, this number is not there as the offensive, but he's still there as the defenseman. He improved so much his defensive zone coverage in the last 2 years. Last year or the year before, he was in the, put him on the nomination, the top best team in NHL defenseman and the Norris Trophy. I think for him, just maturity is getting there. But he's not physical, right? He's not like a broger. He have a size. I think for me, he reached the standard average of the pick number one in NHL, but not the top best #1 in NHL, right? And that's maybe in the future, we're going to see the same thing about Sarkowski. Maybe Sarkowski is going to be a 25 goal, 20, 30 goal in NHL, but is it good enough as a first round pick, right? I'm going to compare him to Logan Cooley, Shane Wright, and everything like that. But that's what Aaron Ekblad for in my eyes. Never going to be a McDavid or an impact major first round, but I think he felt very well where he become in NHL. Now, unfortunately, injury hurt him a lot in the center. That's pretty much what I can tell about him.
Yeah, that's well put.
And by the way, Mr. Natap, we have to mention we didn't talk about him because the St. Louis Blues, I scrapped that game because Detroit beat them and shootout. Unbelievable. They cannot score in one goal anyhow. I'm going to get upset about that. Goaltender offer, rookie again, another great performance for them, Mr. Natap.
Yeah.
I don't say they have a kind of concern for Bennington over there, but it's see to see St. Louis Blues have maybe a guy like him going to be with the future. For the gel, Mr. Natap, we're going to first of all is the DANY again, Connie gel, but Mr. Natap, we have three people, we have 6 people go back in the gel. I'm one of them. But I want to mention to you, I believe, I could be wrong here, Mr. Natap, this is the 6th time, 3 time, back to back, Chicago is in the gel. But I could be wrong.
2 for sure. 2 for sure. I have to check if he was in jail last Friday.
Yes, I think it was Friday with someone else, and then he was alone, and now he go with more people. So he become, I think. I'm sorry again.
He's got a hat trick. Then let me throw my hat.
Yeah, you have a hat trick right there. Exactly. He's just just a couple of behind Mr. Natap of the Danny T. I look like he's going to. He applied for the full-time job over there now at the jail. He want to walk over there. He said, "Look, I know everything going on over there." So, but it would be interesting to see the development. That one there. Are you ready to set up Yamo, Coach Peter Martin, Vinny, and Richard Monin for another jail time over there? Here we go, Mr. Tap. Are you ready to pick it up this one over there? Here we go. Lock up for the next 24 hours. Ready to rock and roll. Only 2 games in the nation, Mr. Tap, tonight. First of all, we have this game between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Colorado Avalanche. The Pittsburgh, 1 win, lost the last 4. Colorado on their way get 6 of them.
Yeah, it's a big game for both teams, but more so for Pittsburgh in this instance. I think we have Jari and Georgiev that are the probable goalies. I don't have 100% confirmation on that yet. The Avalanche they're trying to become the 3rd team in 8 years to pull off back-to-back Stanley Cup titles. The Penguins did it in 2016-17. And Colorado seems to be on a mission now to try to do the same thing. They've won 6 straight, and they look determined as the season winds down here. And they're getting a little bit healthier as well, which is good to see. The big question mark, of course, with them will be, do they get Landeskog to come back? And even if he does, how long will it take him to get into proper game shape form?
He's still skating, Mr. Natap, for the last 3 weeks. He would be back already. Yeah. They cannot afford him at the salary cap. So this is another Kucherov situation.
Kucherov, yeah.
It's not wrong with that. People use it. That's normal. I'm not against that. I just said he's going to be ready now. I'm pretty sure Mr. Natap he's going to be fine about that. He's going to add more what they have, and then if they can finish things, Mr. Natap, like a 8-2-0, something like that, this thing will be better and better and better for the playoff.
Oh, absolutely. My only comment towards that is, obviously being in a game is different. Like, I'm sure he's been skating and he's been keeping up, with training and stuff, but it's different when you're in a game situation, but more importantly, in a playoff game situation. But I wouldn't worry so much for Landeskog. I think this guy he's a beast and will definitely help Colorado. The Avalanche tonight are going to go for their 7th win in hosting Pittsburgh. who's been reeling lately in Denver. Pittsburgh actually won the first game that they played by a margin of 2-1, and it was in overtime back in early February. In that game, I think it was McCarr that suffered the concussion when he took that hit to the head by Jeff Carter. So that kind of has impacted Colorado a little bit because it's caused McCarr to be out of the lineup at a couple of different instances. But hopefully he's okay moving forward. Pittsburgh has lost 4 in a row. They've dropped out of second wild card position in the East. They've reached the playoffs in 16 consecutive seasons, and in that time they've won 3 championships in that span. But they're in danger of not extending that streak to 17 this year. I think a big factor has been the injuries to the defensive corps of the Penguins. They've had 3 guys that have been out of the lineup in consistent fashion, like Jeff Petrie and Jan Ruta, Letang at some point as well. Now Marcus Peterson, suffered a lower body injury against the Rangers on Saturday, and he was immediately on the LTIR. So it's hard to do that, and you throw on top of that the fact that really Jari has not been impressive at all, and that helps explain why Pittsburgh is on the outside looking in right now. The Avalanche they're dealing with a couple of their own injuries, but nothing overly serious because they've had people that have stepped up in their absence and have made best of the situation they've been given. Lately, I guess guys like Dennis Malgin, who was acquired from Toronto in that December, back in December in that trade, he's done very well. He's up to, I think, 5 goals for the Avalanche, and he has 8 for the season. And he's almost at a career high himself. So I'm going to go with Colorado in this game, especially at home. I think Pittsburgh will make it close, but Colorado should win this one. I'm going to go with a score of 4-3.
4-3, Mr. Tap for Colorado.
Yeah.
Congratulations about that one there. And I would change my score 5-2, Mr. Tap for Colorado tonight. About that, we want to welcome Mr. Roger DELANEY. Thanks, Mr. Roger, to be with our Canadian show.
Welcome,
Very kind
Roger.
to you words about us. I think Pittsburgh and Washington exit the playoff this year. Possible for sure. They have a couple of people talk about the game, Mr. Tap. Let's move on now for the last game of the night. Arizona against Edmonton.
Yeah, and again, this one on paper, like I said before, Arizona has only won 7 games away from the Mullet Arena. They're not a very good road team. You throw into the equation the fact that Vejmelka is not playing tonight. I don't believe it's Ingram against Skinner. Edmonton has been really priming up for the playoffs, and they look quite good. I like what I'm seeing there. We're seeing a little bit more balanced scoring as well. Yes, of course, Draisaitl and McDavid have been the stars, but they're not the only ones. As we look at their lineup, they're getting production from Hyman and Ryan Nugent Hopkins and Kane and Fogley, and I like the pickup that they made at the trade deadline time with Ekholm. He seems to have added that physicality that was so dearly needed on defense, and he's been contributing offensively as well. So that's a great sign. They've won 8 out of their past 10 games, and really their goal right now is they have their eye on that top spot in the division. Whether they'll get there remains to be seen. But the fact that McDavid is also trying to run down and get as many points as he can in a year that in which the Hart Trophy should be given to him before any voting is even taken, in my eyes. It's going to be an impressive win, I think, tonight. I'm going to take Edmonton by a margin of 6-2.
6-2, Mr. Tap. All right, I will follow you. 6-2, Mr. Tap, for me at the same time. About that, can go with Arizona tonight and Grimm versus Skinner from both of them. We want to thank RJ and Mr. EMO. They give us always a great insight with a starter every time that give information about that. And we have a couple of great people tonight. We want to welcome back the duo of the best fans for the Colorado Avalanche and the chat right now. I'm talking about Mr. Willie Snyder and Steve G. Both of them, welcome back in the house.
Welcome, guys.
We have right now 30 likes, I believe, something like that, Mr. Top. So we're very good. At the end of the show, Mr. Top, we always ask you about this one. What are you looking for tonight between the two games we have only on the program before we get hit more tomorrow night and a Thursday? About that.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Actually, Coach, did we want to maybe add these two games onto tomorrow night's slate? Because with two, nobody really goes to jail and nobody really goes on the bus unless they're 2-0. And
it's no matter. It's no matter anyway. Everybody's going to be 2-0 tonight, Mr. Top.
So we're all going on the bus tonight. Okay.
We're all, but nobody goes to the bus tomorrow, tonight anyway. So just keep the bus in the jail. Keep the 2-0 tonight. So
keep them clean. Yeah, we'll get some extra maintenance to clean up the bus.
Well, we can add this on Thursday. Not big deal, Mr. Tap. That's go with me. Let's just add this on Thursday so we don't have to report anybody 2-0 tomorrow.
Okay. So just add it on to that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, the big game, of course, is the Pittsburgh one. They're in a position to make a difference and stay in the chase, or I think they get kicked out. So that's the big game for me.
You're absolutely right about that. So I agree with you for that one there. King, to answer to your question, I would say to you the difference between the Hurricane and the Islanders is more about the bottom six over there. There are the big difference between the King and the Islanders. I understand you said Martin, everything quarterback, but again, they don't have that kind of the depth like the Hurricane. And then the defensive zone of the Kane versus the Islanders overall is better. You have only Pelech and the top four is pretty good Islanders, but the bottom six after that, Mayfield versus with AO versus what they have Carolina Hurricane with Slavin, everybody else. I think that the Islanders not have a couple of O's versus the Hurricane about that. So that's conclude Mr. Time and the show. But before we leave, we want to thank everybody for the chat. All the moderator, we appreciate that. We'll be back at 9 o'clock tonight about Samuel Montembeault and Jonathan Drouin. Great conversation about the Montreal Canadiens. Don't forget to join me live. And then until then, Mr. Natal, we want to remind everybody one more thing, sir.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
You're welcome, Mr. ENORTAP. Always a great day. We want to thank also Nicholas Land. I didn't mention his name. He popped up twice. And then we have KLS pop up at the last second. Thanks so much, both of them, to be with us tonight. Don't forget, guys, click on the like before you leave the building. We'll be back at 9 o'clock for everybody. But before we leave, Mr. ENORTAP, one more thing. So, of course, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only to dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the first half of what, Mr. ENORTAP?
You're 2023.
He did it again. Have an amazing, great night, Mr. ENORTAP. And for everybody, we look forward to see you next time.
Good night, Hockey Nation.